Halloween episode.
I know, right? Okay, so I don't know if anybody's seen me out there, but I'm Franny Knight. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties with my camera, but we're going to move forward with this because I am so excited to talk with Cindy Torrance um, of one of our listings at 4417 Jarbo. And I just love how Cindy has decorated her house. And as part of our Facebook Live staging show, sorry, I'm black and white, everybody. I don't know what's going on. And then I disappear. So part of our weekly staging show that we're trying to do every week is to give you guys some ideas on how to upgrade your house on a budget and get it ready to show. And Cindy's house, I think, is so fabulous with how she has decorated it in really interesting jewel colors. And we're going to talk about the trendy colors today a little bit, but mostly I want to talk to Cindy about just what did she think about when she was decorating her house, because it's right on trend. It's very good. So I'm just going to take myself off the screen here real quick. And I'm going to bring up Cindy's house here. Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger. Not sure.
There you go.
Bigger or not, not so much. But anyway, so let me just go through. Just want to get into the house here real quick. So we'll start there with your living room, Cindy. And so Cindy, welcome, and thank you for joining me. You are just such a trooper you just said, sure, I'll do this. And I like it that when we first chatted about, like what you do and what your background is, and that you were an actual graduate of Kansas City Art Institute. And I can tell you've got such a sense of colors and creativity by your house. So just tell us a little bit more about you, Cindy, about what happened with your art school and how that's affected your life right now with your decorating.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I went to Kansas City Art Institute. I graduated there with my bachelor's in printmaking. So, I mean, anytime you're in art, especially in printmaking, you're used to working with a lot of color. You're used to how color reacts in different lights and on different papers and things like that. So walls in your house are similar things. You're thinking of, texture, how a flat paint versus a gloss paint might react to your wall, things like that. So I think my background is just led into how I view my house is similar, just in kind of the palette.
Okay, great. And sorry again, I'm not on screen, but I don't think I need to be. But that was really great to hear that, and we're going to chat a little bit more about what you just said. So, when did you buy this house?
We bought this. We've been here 3 years, so 2017.
Okay, and was it in this kind of shape when you bought it?
It was not. It definitely needed someone to come in and just love it and see its potential. I have to admit, I was a little unsure the first time I walked up to it, and I had to take a moment and go, no, really, I can see the bones. So we put a lot of work into just kind of making it, I guess making her what she probably was, 111 years ago.
Right. I'm just trying to scroll through a little bit here, let people see the house. Some of you who are on here, we've got about 18 people joining us. Welcome, everybody. If you have a question for Cindy about what she did in her house, please type it in and we'll answer your question. If you want to give some thumbs up, some hearts, some loves, we'd love to see that as well. And the other thing I want to, before we jump into a little bit more details on colors and what you decided on, when I first saw your house, I thought it was very interesting how you guys did a lot of the design of the house, not colors and et cetera, but you did a lot of things around tiny houses, right? Like you did some storage kind of things. Can you say a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, I mean, everyone has stuff, right? So no matter what size your house is, everyone needs storage. And I personally don't want my house to look extremely cluttered. Like, I don't want to see all of my stuff. So we really worked hard to find any nook that we could create some kind of storage that made sense. Um, so in our kitchen, for example, we have a little area that we've built in. You can kind of see it in the picture with the stove. Um, right next to the stove where we can store extra like larger utensils and things like that so that we can use our drawer space for other things. It's right behind the pantry. um, we also, I don't think we have a picture of it right now, but we have a cabinet that actually holds the what's it called? Sorry, I'm blanking.
It's all
It
right.
actually holds the fuse box.
Uh-huh.
And we
Oh,
didn't want
right.
to use a cabinet,
It's
so
up
we
in this area right here, right?
exactly. Yeah, so obviously, I mean, when we first moved in, these were not the same cabinets anyway. We've kind of reconfigured those, but that cabinet that was there was just basically empty. It had some, junk in there, but nothing useful, no shelving, anything like that. So we've actually reconfigured that to have a shelf inserted into it. So you can still have multiple, normal storage area, but able to pull it out on hinges so that you can still utilize your box whenever you need to.
Yeah,
Um,
that's so great. I love
yeah,
it.
so kind of throughout the house, we did some custom cabinetry in the bathroom so that we would have, again, storage in there. It gives us a place to be able to, I think if you have one with the other side of the bathroom, that one. So it gives us a place to keep our hampers, and it also has where those baskets are, there's actually another set of baskets above those so that there's just a ton of places to keep that along with some extra storage for towels and things like that. So really, just anywhere we could find something that made sense with the house, but also offered us the utilization was really huge. Um, the bedroom closets also have the second closet has a storage unit that's like a cubby unit that you can pull out on rollers. Um, and behind it goes storage all the way back to the wall, but in front of it is where you can keep things that you fold, different stuff like that. So really, just organization.
Yeah, that's great. I think, people should come view your house. And by the way, everybody, this house is on the market. It's 4417 Jarbo. It's a two-bedroom, one bath, almost 1,000 square feet. A really well-utilized space with a really nice backyard, which we're looking at right now. They built this beautiful deck in another area, and it's just awesome. And this is right on the plaza, you guys. So it's right in the heart of everything, and usually parking is not great on the plaza, but they have in the back here 3 parking pads off the alley. So that's another really great bonus about your guys' house. And they've got a really good size yard and a storage shed. So they've got some. I just feel like it's a really well designed all the way around the house. So if you all are looking for a great house on the plaza versus living in a condo, because you don't get any better than this, but by living in a condo with really high HOAs. So anyway, I think it's you have just really made the most of this incredible house. And so let's talk some about colors, okay?
Okay.
So, well, first off, tell us about what made you decide to choose this color for the exterior of your house?
So when we were doing windows and siding, I had in my head, really, I just wanted it to look like a cute little postcard. Like, when you see like a Norman Rockwell painting or something like that, where you just see that little picture perfect place. So I wanted something like that. I also wanted to keep not only, I mean, you do want to keep in mind what's trendy now, but with an older house, I think it also helps to keep in mind what may have been a trend then. I think if you utilize some of those on the more permanent features, you don't feel outdated as quickly. So blue and white would have been, on point early on. We actually, underneath one of our storage units, you can see a tiny, tiny peek of one of the original siding pieces, and you could tell that at one point it was a blue color as well. So that was a big part for this. We also used some of the shaker siding on the front and then straight on the back. We wanted to have a little bit of that feel of the shaker, but in a vinyl siding, so it wasn't so much upkeep.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's go inside now and talk about by the way, I love your beautiful wood door. I just think that's one of the most pretty doors I've ever seen.
Thank you. It's actually, I think it's the original door. We know that there's original molding on top with the dental, and then the original door. We actually stripped back, I don't even know, years and years of paint to get down to the original surface and refinished it. So it's one of my favorite pieces on the house too.
I do. I love a good door.
I agree.
Okay, so inside, so here's the living room. And I'm going to do something here real quick. I'm going to pull into our screen here. Let me just take you off, Cindy, for a second.
Okay.
So one of the things that we know every year, there's depending on the paint company, they come out with the trends for the year, and so this is a poll that was done for interior designers, and they were asking them, what's popular with the interior paint colors, and still we're at the cool neutrals, excuse me, more than any other color. So the grays and whites and tans. And I see a lot of white on white is kind of popular too. But for the first time, this jewel tones, the really rich color blues and greens and that says 20%. I'm going to tell you, as I'm out showing houses, these are up and coming really popular colors. It kind of starts with an accent wall, and then it becomes the whole room. And so, hey, if anybody's here, we're getting some thumbs up. I love that. Thank you guys for giving us some love. Would you type in the comments? Are you in your house? Do you have a jewel color accent wall or a room? I don't think it's in every room yet, but it's coming back, and I'm so happy because I'm just so tired of the whites and grays and so forth. So Cindy, tell us what made you decide to do well, at least one of your walls here in the living room in a jewel color.
I love a good saturated pop of color, honestly. I think if it's used right, you can really make a room work with it. I think people are often afraid of them, and that's why you get a lot of white on white on white. But yeah, like you said, if you use it as a little pop color in an area to start with and kind of go from there, it's less scary. For this one, we actually chose a color that coordinates with our kitchen cabinets. I like to pull colors through the house. I feel like because I like to use color, if you use colors that either work with each other side by side or are similar tones, it gets a little less like carnival-y, a little less too much, And so in the living room, I wanted something overall that was a little bit calming, but I wanted a little bit of a statement that was more exciting too. So that's why we went with this darker blue.
That's great. And so let's go to the, and by the way, that's a fabulous rug.
Thank you.
You did.
Sometimes it's not a permanent thing, so go for it, right?
Good point. That's a very good point. Now, I will tell you that I work with a stager. I stage homes too, but I work with a stager who always tells me no rugs. If you have beautiful wood floors, never for staging, not for living, okay? But for staging. So anybody who's watching and paying attention is like, do we get a rug? Do we not get a rug? First off, if you are in carpet, don't do rugs on carpet. But if you have some really nice wood floors, it's hard to decide whether you should keep them bare. Most of the time, it'll make a room look bigger, and people love the look of a wood floor. But I can't tell you how much I love this rug because it really pulls so much together in the room.
I think it's important too to just think about the size of the rug. you don't want to cover all of your wood floors, but if your rug's a little smaller, you still want it to obviously make sense with your furniture. Um, but if you put a rug that covers 90% of your floors, then I agree you're going to lose them. But if you put a rug that still, accentuates those, it just adds to it a little bit.
Yep, gotcha. Okay, so great. And I'm going to tell you again too, just your decorating is so fabulous. Your curtains, like I think it's when you know somebody like yourself who has such a great grasp of design, how you can mix different patterns in a room. I'm telling you, I'm terrible about it. I'm not very good. I have to kind of keep it more simple because I'll just clash it up. But you've the curtains and the lamp and the rug, and it's just all amazing how it comes together. Okay, so let's go to the room you're in right now. Well, I'm sorry, here's one more shot. Hold on just a second. Let me pull that up, complete shot there. There's another shot of the living room. Your paintings are really awesome too. Those
Thank you.
pull that I could just, for being a smaller house and a smaller living space, you've done such a great job of making it very comfortable and very easy to live in. But I could just sit and stare at this room all day. I'm
Oh,
just telling you, if this you this you just are amazing.
I
I
appreciate
don't
it. I'm really happy with how it kind of came out. Another thing too, I mean, the paintings are mine, so that helps because it's easier to be like, well, I can coordinate a painting, no problem. But also, we wanted it still to bring in the color from the rest of the house and be a statement in the room. And a small room doesn't have to have tiny artwork. You can still make a statement with that. So
That's so great. You should become an interior designer, Cindy.
that would be super fun.
Okay, so let's go to the next room, your dining room. Um, hold on. Okay, so here we are in the dining room. Now tell us about your color coordination here.
So part of the dining room, when we were deciding on the color, I knew I wanted to do something that worked with blue but wasn't specifically blue. So I chose to go into the green family. But you can see my dining room from the living room. So I wanted to be able to stand in the living room and look through into the dining room, and the colors make sense together and it still be a cohesive place. So that's why I went with this darker green on most of the walls. Um, so it just kind of pulls that in, and then we pulled in the blue with the rug and some things like that to bring it through the house again. Yeah, there's the wallpaper that you could see.
Yeah, I'm
Accent
sorry.
wall,
I'm just trying to give like each angle of this room is a different look.
right?
It's so awesome.
So here you can see a little peek of the living room. So you can see how the blues from the dining room and the greens coordinate still with what's in the living room. And then the wallpaper I chose has somewhat of a vintage feel of it. So even though it's still blues and greens and some things like that, it's kind of, I guess I would say, vintage modern. It doesn't look outdated, but it still has a little bit of that feel, so it doesn't seem out of place in the house.
It's awesome. I love it. I love how you've just made that happen. It's really great. Um, and so tell us about your kitchen colors.
So kitchen colors again. So this is where I actually started. The kitchen was the first place that I was like, I can't live in this. So we completely redid it. So I had a few different colors. I really liked the jewel tones. I really liked deep saturated colors. And I wanted to go with a dark blue because I felt like it was somewhat unexpected. I think a lot of times with cabinetry colors, people are a little bit afraid, so you get all white cabinets. You may occasionally get maybe a lighter color, but I wanted something that was slightly unexpected. So we went with the darker blue on the bottom and on the pantry. And then because it's a smaller kitchen, we did bring in the white so that it didn't feel overwhelming, but still made sense.
Yeah, it's great. And I love the simple the backsplash being the subway tile. That's
Yes.
a very
Yep.
nice. And I will say too that, we're starting to see more trendy, fashionable, tile backsplashes and on the floor, with some prints and stuff. And, I think you can pull that off, but boy, those come and go. They
I,
really do.
yeah,
Um,
I did. I'm not one who wants to have to redo the things that are a little more challenging to do in a few years.
yeah.
So definitely went with a porcelain subway tile that would have again fit the era of the house. It also, it makes sense with the rest of the room, and it's on trend today. And then we went with quartz countertops because I love marble, but I did not want the maintenance of marble. So I think between the bringing in the quartz countertops and a little veining of the gray in those, along with the porcelain subway tile that has the dark grout, it kind of pulls those two together too.
Yeah, it looks really great. Okay, so let's talk about your bathroom again. We've been in the bathroom already, but let's go back into the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that you did your, um, oh shoot, I forget the,
Wainscoting.
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
In blue. That's very bold. I love it.
Yeah, again, a small space doesn't mean you have to have no color. It doesn't mean it has to be all white. As long as you choose your color placement carefully, you can pull off a big bold color in a smaller room. We actually pulled this color. You'll see the upstairs in a little bit. We pulled this color from some of the tones that are up there to bring them downstairs. And it still works with the blues and the greens in the other room because, again, I think it's important that they don't have to match, but as long as they don't clash, it'll still make sense in the house. So I did that, and I also pulled in wood accents. So the little shelf above the sink to add a little bit extra storage has the same wood stain as on all the wood doors throughout the house, and also the wood on the picture frame. So it still kind of feels cohesive that way too.
Oh, over here, the pencil. Yeah. Yeah, that's really great. I love that. Okay, so let's move up. We'll move past the music room.
That's fair.
With your husband's room, yes. By the way, just out of curiosity, I don't think I've ever asked about. Does he have a band?
He is. He's in a '90s cover band that he plays in called Melodic Behavior. So he plays with them, and then he does a few different projects here and there on occasion. So
What,
yeah.
what's the name
So
of the band again?
it's called Melodic Behavior.
What?
Melodic. I know, right? Melodic
Melodic,
Behavior.
like
Yeah.
melody,
Yep. Exactly.
melodic behavior.
You got it.
Where does he normally, I know it's COVID time, but where does he normally play at?
Oh my gosh, they play all over Kansas City, North Kansas City, really all over the place because they are a cover band. They get a lot of different gigs and places. So
Got it.
yeah, they usually just post them and
Are
but
they,
yeah, all over the city.
do they have a Facebook page?
They do, and it's under just Melodic Behavior. So.
Okay, I'll post a link to that after we're done. So anybody interested in the band and wondering why is the whole one bedroom with a
Right.
sunset music equipment? But that's why.
It
It's
was
a
a
pretty big
necessity
deal.
when buying a house.
All right, so let's go ahead and move. Unless you want to say something about what you did in this room, it just seems like you kept it pretty simple.
Yeah, I did keep it pretty simple. The main thing we did in this room was really just strip years of paint off of the doors so that we have the original wood doors on the closets and things like that. Other than that, I kept it real neutral for his, I mean, it's for his music, so
Yeah,
let him do his thing.
got it. Okay. So let's go upstairs. So we'll just swim through here and take a look. So tell us about the color choices up here.
Yeah, so up here again, I kind of wanted to, I guess, bookend the room with a darker color. It's a really long room. It's basically the whole length of the house. So you really can have some kind of darker color that pulls the room together, makes it still feel a little bit cozier.
Mhm.
So there's the darker walls on the either end, and then the side walls are it's actually on the same color palette. It's just a couple of shades lighter.
Yeah.
And so just to kind of keep in the color, I didn't want the whole room to be white. I mean, there's plenty of white because of the ceilings in there, but I just wanted a little pop somewhere, just to have a little fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And for being a little bit smaller, converted attic space, making this white, the whole ceiling white makes it feel bigger for sure.
Absolutely. You don't want to feel like a room is coming down on you. So
Right. Right.
it's nice to have kind of the white.
Is this your office?
It is. Yep. I work there every day.
See, people, you look, we all are sacrificing for COVID.
Yep.
And why are you guys moving?
We actually just want to move out of the state. We want to move to North Carolina, give a different area a little try. We've been in Kansas City. I've been in Kansas City since college, so longer than I'd like to admit at this point. And my husband's been here for just a little bit longer than me too, so it's been quite a while, and we're kind of at that point in our life where we're like, well, let's try something new before we get too old to want to do it.
I absolutely love that. I think that's that's the way to live life.
Yeah.
Even though we're, Urban Cool KC and we're all about Kansas City and we love Kansas City, but my husband and I are going to retire in San Diego. Just want you all know. We'll still keep Urban Cool KC going strong. Our daughter's in line in succession to help us keep it running. But boy, it's good I'm ready for just to take on a little change too. So I totally get that.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything now about your deck here?
Yeah, so we actually just redid this deck. It's probably been a couple years now. So we ripped everything out, kind of reformatted it, I guess I would say. The original deck kind of went off into the grass into nowhere with some steps and had some damage and some things like that. There wasn't really a great place to put furniture. So we tried not only to kind of create a space that you could fit a decent amount of people up sitting up there comfortably, but also wide enough stairs that if you want to, take furniture in and out, because normal people have furniture taken in out of a house, that it's still comfortable to utilize it. And the deck actually goes down to a little patio area that we usually use for like our barbecue pit. We have a fire pit down there. And then it goes on to a pergola. So it's a nice little entertaining space. So you have all of that for entertaining, and then the whole other side of the yard is all grass. So you get a little bit of both, which is nice.
Yeah, here, let me pull up. So there's the grass part. And so it's great. I mean, you can have a dog. This place, I'm telling you, I belong to the tiny house communities on Facebook and have been participating in the one here in Kansas City. And I'm telling you, I don't want to keep calling your house is not a tiny house because it's 1,000 square feet,
Right.
but or almost 1,000 square feet. But it just has that feel. I'm telling you, people just need to come take a look at this house. I think they're going to fall in love when they actually show up and take a look at it. Okay, so let me just do something here real quick. So what I wanted to, a lot of people ask me often, how are we doing with so this whole thing was this Facebook Live was to do our weekly staging show. And this particular week, we're talking about paint colors and how to choose them. I also wanted to have Cindy on because she's so great at decorating and so much fun, and to also profile her house that we're trying to sell. Not trying, we're going to sell. But I just also wanted to just chat a second about, a little bit more about the colors that are changing. So I put up the other poll. The poll that I put up before, where we're still in the 57%, yeah, so we're still in the 57% gray. But I think we're changing. I think we're starting to move away from grays. What do you think, Cindy? You think this chart is accurate?
I think it's probably accurate for now, but definitely trending towards more color and less towards just grays.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it takes a little bit for people to get comfortable to try something that's not as neutral. But the more they see it, the more they're like, okay, I can handle this.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, so for those who are watching still, and those we're going to be posting this video on Instagram and YouTube and LinkedIn and so forth. And so you may be watching this later. And so when you watch this later, and anybody who wants to make a comment now, if you'll type in the comments, what do you think? You think gray is going out? Let us know. I'd like to know what your feeling is. Are we moving from grays more into jewel tones, which are the richer blues and greens and yellows? I'm fascinated by that. I'm in and out of houses all day, and I see a lot, and I do see the trend happening. It's definitely coming about. So,
Awesome.
all right. I'm going to pull myself back up here. We're going to wrap this up, and it looks like I'm in
a haunted house.
if you see this. Yes, this is my haunted house. Look. Can't I have pink hair? I don't know. It's my camera. Anyway, so I just wanted to wrap this up and tell you again just how much I love your house, and thank you for being such a sport and coming on and doing this. I think I'm going to have you come on some more. This has been really lots of fun. It's just absolutely great. So again, Cindy's house is 4417 Jarboe in Kansas City, Missouri. And it's going to, you can call me and I'll get you set up for a showing. And maybe in a couple of days, we might even do a virtual open house. I don't know. We'll talk about that later. But so thank you so much, Cindy, for joining me. And for everybody else, let us know if you like it. Give us a comment about whether you think the grays are on the way out. If you like the colors that we got to see in Cindy's house today, would love to hear from you guys on that. Okay, all right. Any last words, Cindy, you want to say?
No, I mean, thanks for joining us. Feel free to come out and see it. I know I've lived in a much larger house before and felt like it was really a waste of space. This, a little bit smaller is much easier to maintain. I don't know. I really have enjoyed it. Plus the area, as you said, come see the plaza in Westport. You can walk to them both.
Yeah. And your favorite restaurant that you go to?
Oh my gosh, I love Rudy's. They have the best hot salsa. The best.
I love it. I love Rudy's too. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Give us some comments, give us some love, and come see Cindy's house on the plaza. Okay?
Yeah, bye,
all right. Okay. Bye.